Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, we have the Kent Eagle Ridge. This is the $198 Walmart gravel bike that I have taken and transformed completely. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I took it on some trails and was actually really impressed with how well it handled. But this is not going to be the forever setup of this bike. As a matter of fact, even though the frame seems to have decent geometry and handles the off-road riding pretty well with these 650 by 47 tires, I do want to find a frame that fits better. And that's something that I have found. We'll see. And I'm about to unveil that, also unbox it. But first I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about what my plans were originally for this. So I wanted to basically just replace the handlebars to something more comfortable and ergonomic, which I have done, along with replacing the original grip shifters that were on the stock bars for something that had integrated shifting and braking. So I bought a very inexpensive, it was like $22 off of AliExpress, and 8-speed shifter, and then matched it up with a generic brake lever that has a similar profile to the shape of the lever, and they actually feel quite nice. And then the plan was to I'd also ordered a set of quick release hubs with a free hub body rather than the freewheel, and I was going to do an 8-speed cassette on that setup. The hubs haven't come yet, and they appear to be stuck somewhere in transit, so I kind of gave up on that, and I ended up buying a cheap set of 700C wheels off of Craigslist. These are Shimano M475 hubs. That's like an Alivio level hub. Just simple, loose ball bearing. These are used. They got a little bit of wear marks, but I'm going to clean them up real good. I'm going to take the decals off of them, make sure they're nice and true. And these will be kind of the main wheel set for not this bike, but the new frame I'm about to unveil. But the plan was just to relace these, the original wheels, which they're hanging up, I'm not going to grab them, relace the original spokes and rims onto some new hubs, assuming that the spoke lengths would still be correct, but I figured it would be close enough and I could make it work. So that's not going to happen. If I do eventually ever get those hubs, then I'll hold on to them, sell them. I'm not going to mess with it now that I've got this inexpensive wheel set. But I really like the 650 wheel set. I do want to swap it in and out between my budget gravel bike and my nice gravel bike. So I'll be doing that as well, but it may live more frequently on my budget gravel bike just because I prefer to ride that off-road and not tear up my really nice expensive bike, which is really more just a road bike for me. Anyhow, so without further ado, here's a box. Gravity is a house brand of Bikes Direct. They're an online, direct-to-consumer bicycle retailer, and they've got an affiliate website called Bike Island, where they tend to sell more like scratch and dent, damaged stuff at a bigger discount than even what Bikes Direct sells their stuff. So I found they had a brand new, it's Gravity Zilla. They called it a monster cross bike, and this was several years ago that they came out with this bike, kind of before the gravel bike craze. But it seems to kind of fit into that category pretty well. It's designed to take a 29 by 1.75 tire, which is going to be about like a 700 by 47, which is actually similar tire clearance to what the Specialized Diverge is supposed to take as far as a 700C tire. It's supposed to be able to handle up to a 650 by 52. Anyhow, looking at the geometry, I think the bottom bracket height is going to be sufficient to handle a little bit smaller diameter 650V wheels. We'll find out here pretty shortly when I start building this thing up. And if not, I've got the 700Cs that I just showed you as backup wheel set that works. So haven't even looked at this. This came just this morning. Took it a day to get here because it shipped from elsewhere in Texas. So really quick to get here. And yeah, the box is still stable. So let's see if we can pop these things open. Staple and glued. Try not to tear up the box too much. There we go. Once you get started on one end, you can kind of pop in. So, bam, there we go. And what this is a frame fork. It's supposed to come with a headset and a seat post collar. Fairly decent packing, and it's just got your typical cardboard, a little bit of bubble wrap around it. I was thinking it was going to be matte silver, but this is actually a gloss silver. And you know, the pictures that they had weren't great, but it did seem to indicate gloss silver. So there's the Gravity logo on the tube. All of the cables are top tube routed right here, which I like. Keeps the muck off of it. Obviously at this price point, so this was $150 with free shipping. Obviously I didn't pay sales tax, especially since I bought it from within the same state, which it shipped. But the box is in really good shape, so I'm not too worried about there being any shipping damage. But I'm just going to go ahead and pull all my little wraps off of here. It's got the disc brake cable routing tabs there, which I'll be able to secure those. Yeah, quite a bit bigger head tube, which is going to help me with getting the handlebars up. So this thing's designed to work obviously with the front derailleur, and you're supposed to use a pulley to use a top pull front derailleur, cable routing, but if you use a bottom pull derailleur, then you'd be able to use that pulley to pull from the bottom. But yeah, I mean, just a real basic aluminum frame, nothing fancy, but it looks to be in good shape, so I am excited about getting that. The dropout spacer wasn't in there all the way. Let's see if it'll set up, and I'll move it back in front of you in a minute. We got another box in here. Get that out of the way, we don't need that. Oh, I should have brought my knife with me. Oh well. We'll get into it. I hear lots of parts jingling around. Okay. So it looks like my headset parts, and it's just a regular loose ball bearing headset. Nothing too fancy, not like it's sealed cartridge bearings, so got all that stuff in there. And then there is the fork. Disc brake fork. It's supposed to be suspension corrected as far as the fork geometry, so see how that works out. Why can't I not get these tapes off here? There we go. Alright, so yeah, no decals, anything like that on the fork. It's just I don't know if it's chromoly steel or what, but it's just a basic fork. The welds certainly are better than on this fork, but you know, they're not the most amazing high quality thing, but yeah, I mean, typical, you know, okay quality Chinese manufactured stuff. I'm sure that's where this was made. However, there's no decal or anything on here. Good job. Yeah, there's the first nick right there. Oh well. Anyhow, few little boogery spots. I'm looking at the inside of the bottom bracket shell. And actually, that's just schmutz. I thought it might have been some funky threads on the shell, but yeah, put a little scratch scuff in it. No big deal. It's going to get much worse when I actually ride it, but I'll have to weigh this fork later and see how much it actually weighs, but it doesn't feel terrible. It feels okay. I think it's fine. Again, I'm sure, and what I'll probably end up doing, once I get all the parts taken off of this, I'll be left with frame, fork, headset, stem, and the seat post. I'm just going to leave the seat post in it because it'll stay. I'll have to weigh the two just to get a comparison between that system weight and this system weight. But really nice looking hydroformed top tube. Not sure how much that's showing up in here. Bi-oval shaped down tube, so it's long oval up here and it transitions to sideways oval down here, if that makes any sense. And the whole point of that is just to help with the lateral stiffness in the bottom bracket for pedaling. Again, this ain't going to be no super efficient type of a bike, but I do think that it will certainly be an improvement over this thing. A few little scuffs. Those look more like paint blemishes on the seat stays, but they're in S-bend seat stay and chain stay. So I think it ought to be a relatively decent pedaling bike, and yeah, for $150 for a complete brand new frame and fork, I think that's pretty reasonable. Good platform for a lot of people to build like a good gravel touring whatever type of bike. It's only got 2 water bottle cages. So nothing that's going to be super adaptable for like long distance riding, but for just a good little all-around bike, I think it'll be just fine. So yeah, that is what's going to happen. Another note I was going to also mention, I originally ordered a black one, and they didn't even have silver in this size. Their listing is a 55.5 centimeter, but that's a semi-compact, so it really is going to fit more like probably a 58. Which is the size that I would ride. And anyway, they didn't list that available in the matte black color. In the silver color, so they had it available in the black color. So I went ahead and ordered that. I didn't really care, I just wanted an inexpensive frame. And got an email pretty quickly. Hey, sorry, we don't have the black one, do you want a silver one? I'm like, sure, that's okay. I kind of wanted silver. I thought it was matte silver, like I mentioned. Maybe I just didn't read carefully or just mistaken. But I actually like the gloss. I think that's nice looking. Matte finishes tend to be very hit or miss as far as long-term durability. Like this bike has got a matte finish, and the paint seems to be pretty easy to scratch. And it's not something that you can polish out or buff out. This one, you'd be able to hit it with some polishing compound, and it'd be easy to sort of fix back up. So anyhow, I'm talking too much, and this is going to be the next step as far as building up a new gravel bike, and I'm excited to get this one going. Oh, there's a sticker for where it's made. Didn't see that. Yeah. Made in China, just what I thought. Probably can't see that, but anyway. And there's a little bit of scuff in the paint. Yeah. Right there. But again, polish it out, it'll look fine. We're going to get rid of that Made in China sticker. That might be where the frame was made, but it's not where the bike is going to be made. This bike is going to be made in the USA by me, of foreign and domestic. Mostly foreign components. Anyhow, until next time, thank you for tuning in, and please give me a like, make a comment. I don't care if it's positive or negative, just tell me what's on your mind. I love hearing from all my viewers, all 8 of you, and please subscribe. And again, get out there and ride a bike and have your own fun behind bars.